Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 16th to the 22nd of September 2019. So we've had a very long and dreamy summer. Things haven't been easy, there's been a lot of intensity coming up, but the real purpose has been to journey deep within and to realign to where we're coming from, so that as we step forward into the autumn, we'll be centred and creating from the heart space. So we've had two very strong full moons. The first one was the one in Aquarius, and we've just coming out of the full moon in Pisces as well. And for me, these were the two prime full moons, window of time of the year to really do this realignment work, to really revise and rethink who we are, why we're here, where we're coming from, and what it is that we're creating. So that window's closing now as we get ready to step forward. And Saturn goes direct this week, so there will actually be time for putting things into practice. We've also had eclipses and Neptune retrograde. So all of this has been very watery, with the eclipses in Cancer, Neptune retrograde in Pisces, connecting with the recent Pisces full moon and tuning us into our soul desires and to see the bigger picture rather than rushing forwards from the head. But all the cells of our body, our emotional intelligence, our intuition, to be able to listen to that, clean out our inner waters and be guided. So on Monday we have Venus and Mercury both crossing over the equinox point and going into Libra. Mercury is our mind and Venus is our heart. So the heart and mind coming into balance now at this very sacred time of year. Monday is a day to listen to what your heart's saying. And the whole of this week is a chance to put into practice what we've been learning, which is to lead from the heart and then apply the mind afterwards. Calming the mind chatter, focusing on truth and deleting negativity and limitation. So Venus and Mercury both travelling together into Libra, time to balance there, time to find harmony and recalibrate. While keeping in mind all the dreams that have come up over the last few months, the last 3 weeks especially. Lots of ideas, lots of excitement, real sense of connection and even devotion to where we're putting our energy and what it means. So keeping that very much in the ether for the beginning of the week, as Saturn turns direct on Wednesday and we'll actually be able to start to apply ourselves going forwards. So maybe Monday, Tuesday, just write down some final notes, visions, sketches, capture the essence of everything that's come up that you'd like to manifest over the winter, and get clear on some of the detail, get to the point of everything, as we will be able to actually start to make a plan fairly soon. So Saturn turning direct is very slow, so it's not like just by Wednesday everything will suddenly start to happen. In fact, Wednesday is a day to stop, as Saturn is actually turning in Capricorn, and we look to see what we've learnt over that retrograde phase. So Saturn's been retrograde since the very end of April, and April was another pivotal moment in this year. Middle April was a time when everything started to slow down and send us on that inward journey. So Saturn turning at 13 degrees, if you're following along with your chart, have a look at any planets, have a look at which house that's in, and have a look at that journey back to April to see where you've gone in to find the core self, the structure, the self-discipline, the self-reliance and the self-worth. Saturn is a very stand-alone energy, standing on our own 2 feet, not reaching out for things, not being pulled out, not giving out too much, but bringing everything into a strong and flexible centre. But by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday and into next week, then the plan can form, so we can actually externalise some of that structure now, take the nebulous clouds of our dreams but actually put them into some form of structure, some form of plan. So things will start to be happening, and it's worth taking things slowly, one step at a time, and building a plan that's sustainable, something that will last over a long amount of time as well. So at this back to school time of year, it's often worthwhile making a plan that will see us all the way through to next May. As Virgo is the harvest cycle, we plant the seeds and then we reap the harvest 9 months later. So creating a loose structure of a plan with plenty of space to move and weave and change, and then starting to see how those dreams can be anchored into place to roll out, to flourish, to develop in their own time, but working together for a greater result. So a sense of reality begins to enter by Thursday, and the structure forms. Start to align in a direction, working from the inside out and following our guiding star. So this works really well with Venus and Mercury in Libra as well, because they'll be heart and mind aligned in the centre, Saturn strong and centred, and then bringing that structure from within. But the guiding star is important too, to actually know where we're going to, what the direction is. So that's worth meditating on Thursday. Where do you want to get to and why? And then start to point and focus some of our structure into a meaningful plan. But Saturn turning direct in Capricorn can also fall into the trap of taking things too seriously. Everything has to be a challenge, everything has to be slow and steady and hard work. So by Friday maybe we could have a look at, is it okay for things to flow smoothly and effortlessly? Can we give ourselves permission to enjoy the unfolding, the dance of life, rather than making everything hard work? So a realistic plan will do this as we give enough space and time to be able to enjoy the small steps, the moments, the experiences, but just knowing that there is that guiding star and everything will come into place in the long run. So challenge yourself on Friday to have a look at where you take things too seriously, make things too difficult and work too hard, and what can you do to create some space and flow and trust that things will come into shape. Then a different energy by the weekend, we have Jupiter square Neptune. And this is very important, there's a sense of breaking through barriers. So Jupiter wants to expand and amplify. Neptune wants us to tune in and refine. And these two squared off has a bit of a push and pull, contrary energy. But if we work with both sides of the equation, then we can develop healthy boundaries that Jupiter will bring strength to, where Neptune is porous, saturated, sometimes confused. But then using the Neptune energy we can potentially dissolve any blocks that are ready to go so that we can amplify as Jupiter moves on. So very interesting week there, coming out of the summer, coming out of that powerful full moon portal, crossing the equinox point with Venus and Mercury, aligning ourselves, heart and mind. Saturn turning direct, bringing in structure to all the hopes, dreams and aspirations that we'd like to manifest and bring into reality over the winter, urging a strong and steady plan, but also space to flow and to continue dreaming, but not moving too quickly, honouring the Jupiter and the Neptune energies, creating the space to expand into, dissolving blocks, but also having healthy boundaries so that we're not pulled out of ourselves or taking on too much of other people's energy. Talking of plans, I've had the opportunity to dream into being my ritual calendar for the rest of 2019 and 2020, and there'll be an event on every sacred calendar date. So if you go to my YouTube channel Zoe Astro, you'll see that there's a video for each of the festivals of the year under the playlist Witches Zodiac, where I've put the astrology and extra layers of meaning back into that calendar. So we have the autumn equinox, and I'll be offering a tree walk and stargazing on Hampstead Heath. Then the next festival is Halloween, or Samhain, where I'll be offering a tarot evening at mine. And then there's Yule, which is winter solstice, where I offer a mulled wine and tarot evening at mine. Then January, February, I'm offering a What's in the Stars for 2020 talk, which is available to your private and company events. So I'm taking bookings for that now. And as we get to the spring equinox, there'll be another tree walk. In May, there'll be a retreat to St Nectan's Glen in Cornwall, which is a beautiful waterfall retreat space. Summer solstice, we'll be heading to Avebury Stone Circle. And in September, there'll be another beautiful retreat in Glastonbury. So 8 different events there, pertinent to the time of year, and they'll all be posted on my website. So there's my structure with plenty of room to move as well. That's the plan. And we can start to put that into action from next week onwards. So please do let me know if any of that interests you. I'm available one-to-one for readings, and you can even use your chart to make your own significant plan, what to do and where. Your chart is partly a calendar. You have your own personal calendar. And when we engage with the sun and the moon cycles, then we come back into spiral time. So if you'd like to look at where your plan can be manifested in alignment with your chart, then that can be done in a reading. So please do contact me, zoehines7@gmail.com, Facebook at AstroZo, Instagram at zoehines7, and YouTube Zoe Astro. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week.